this meeting is about animal suffering. So I think everybody here uh, came to this meeting. I mean, you might have definitely seen the poster, right? So it's about solving animal suffering. So the first thing I need you to do in this meeting is to have an open mind, because ultimately animal suffering is what we are going to focus on this meeting. So we are not going to focus on what types of things that will emotionally satisfy animal rights activists. We are going to focus on what will actually help the animals, what animal suffering actually is. So keep an open mind. So some of the practices that we do already, I'm going to criticize them. So keep an open mind. That's all I'm asking. So because this meet is going to challenge our basic beliefs. So I'm just gonna put that forward. So have an open mind throughout the meeting and throughout the seminar. And if you have doubts, you can ask them in the chat box, and there will be a discussion session later. Cool. So okay, let's just get started with the meeting. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is animal suffering, right? So what is suffering? So basically suffering is any pain that you want to avoid, right? So none of us want to suffer. All of us want to avoid suffering. So there is a difference between pain and suffering. Suffering you want to avoid. Some kinds of pain you don't want to avoid, that's fine. Okay. So suffering everybody wants to avoid. Nobody wants to suffer. So that is suffering. And the plain fact is animals suffer more than humans, and not just by the severity, but also by quantity. So there are estimated by a rough estimate, there are 20 quintillion animals on earth, and all animals have the not all animals, but most animals have the capacity to suffer, except a few phylums. Everybody have a nervous system. They have the capacity to suffer. So 20 quintillion, let me just give you in billions, it's 20 billions of billions. It has 18 zeros in it. So that many animals are there. That's uh, like 2.5 billion into human population. So it's multiplication, 2.5 billion into. So that's it. So severity. So most animals, um, they don't live by any rules, right? So they don't have any rules. Most of them live in nature, and even those domestic animals that we have here, they are not protected by very great laws. Like if I abuse a child, I'll probably go to jail for 10 years. But if I abuse a dog, I'm gonna get a 50 rupees fine. That's it. That's the best case scenario for animals. So animals suffer more by quantity and by severity. Um, so first thing is first. So I'm just going to uh, give you two pictures. So first picture. Let's go to the first picture. So this is a calf, right? So in a dairy industry, and this calf is slowly starving to death. So because this calf is a male calf, and they have no use for the dairy industry, and So there is no use feeding this calf. So simply they will make this calf starve to death. So yeah. So first thing I want to explain is this calf is no different from a child, right? So it doesn't matter whether a child is starving or this calf, they both are going to feel the same amount of suffering, right? So it doesn't matter because you cannot say that okay, this is a child suffering so it's more bad, or this is bad and this is a calf suffering so this calf can die or whatever. You cannot say that because suffering is equal. All suffering is bad for the sufferer, for the victim, right? So this is a calf starving in a dairy farm. So the next picture. So this is a lion, let's say in a jungle. This lion also seems to be starving. So my question is, what is the difference between the two? Can anyone turn on your mic and tell me like what is the difference?
Hello.
Yeah.
So for the lion, for its own, for the eating purpose that it's hunting on its own.
Okay.
After it has been eaten, mean it won't hunt any animal.
Okay.
For the cost of living only, it is just hunting.
Okay.
To survive in the ecosystem only, it's getting hunted for some other animals.
Okay.
In my opinion. So that's what I just want to say with you.
Okay. Anyone else? This is like obvious, like school level question. So first is a calf suffering in a dairy farm. Second is a lion starving in a jungle. What's the
Yes.
difference?
May I speak?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So the calf is the why it is suffering is it is a man-made mistake for it.
Yes.
So someone who has to take care of it. There are many organizations like Blue Cross and not Blue Cross exactly, I don't know, but some organizations are there who are supporting these animals. The
Okay.
information must be shared to them. I think
Okay.
Blue Cross itself, they'll take care
Okay.
of that thing. If that is a cough, where a small stray dog or a stray cat, they'll take care of
Okay.
that. And that is the mistake of the dairy users who are using that cough. They can release it freely so that she
Okay.
can go and live.
Yeah.
And the
Even
other
if,
difference,
even if you release it, some people are going to catch that calf and take him to meat.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
It's very
they'll
simple.
take into meat. See, this is our culture, and we used to live with the animals, and
Okay.
we have to preserve that. Like if we raise a calf, like or
Okay.
if we raise a cat or a pet, anything, we don't want it to get hurt. Everyone has
Okay.
to feel that every living being in the
Okay.
world itself has the right to live its life.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Mm.
So the basic point you said was correct. Yeah, you can mute yourself now. So the first picture is is portraying human-made suffering, and the second picture is portraying natural suffering, right? So the issue here is, as I said before, right? Victims are all that matter, right? So both this lion and this calf are starving and they are feeling the same pain. It doesn't matter to the victim, right? So it's not just discrimination to say that, okay, this is a calf and this is a child. So, humans are superior. So that discrimination is called speciesism. But it is also a discrimination to discriminate with the cause of suffering. Because ultimately, discrimination is wrong because it doesn't matter to the victim. Suffering is suffering. It doesn't matter to this lion whether a human is causing my suffering or I am suffering naturally. It doesn't matter to this calf as well whether a human is causing this suffering or if it is starving naturally. All kinds of suffering are bad. All kinds of suffering deserves to be stopped. Right? Because always we have to see from the victim's point of view. Right? You don't want to suffer at the hands of me. I'm a human. But you don't want to suffer at the hands of let's say an earthquake, which is natural. You don't want either of those things, right? Same goes to this lion and this calf or any sentient conscious living being on this earth. Right? So two types of discrimination. One is discriminating based on the victim. You are black, I am white. You are a woman, I am a man. You are a cow, I am a man. Second type of discrimination is based on cause. Okay, this deserves to be stopped. Okay, this calf starving in a dairy industry deserves to be stopped because it's a man-made suffering, because we have to clean it up. Okay, but this lion can starve happily knowing that it's not caused by man. No, it doesn't happen like that. So both are discrimination. Both victims deserve not to suffer. All suffering deserves to be stopped. Right. So which brings me to the next point. So sentientism. So sentientism is an belief. At its core, it takes suffering focused ethics as its main ideology. So the thing is, another exercise I can give you guys. So can you people, any of you, this is an open challenge. Can you name something that is bad, that doesn't involve any suffering? Can anybody name something that is bad, that doesn't involve any suffering, whether caused or natural? It shouldn't involve any suffering, but it should be bad. You should say that it's bad. Nobody? You can't, because suffering is the only bad thing on this earth. And that's why suffering focused ethics is the only sensible ethics or morality that we can follow. Anti suffering, against suffering. So, who is capable of suffering? Conscious living beings who have a nervous system. Basically, animals. Right? So, fact number 3 is all suffering is undesirable and hence deserves to be stopped, as I already said. So, sentientism is a belief system that the only bad thing is suffering, and it makes sentient beings, that is conscious living beings, the only important ones in this world. They are the only important ones. You cannot say a rock is important. You cannot say a bike is important. You cannot say a nation is important. A religion is important. They are not living. They cannot feel pain. But sentient beings will be able to feel pain. So they are the only important ones in this world. Can somebody mute their mic? I'm getting some disturbance.
Hello, come, please.
Abhishek, can you check whose mic is unmute?
Bhagwan, can you mute your?
Sorry. I'm sorry. I will.
Yeah, no problem. Cool. So, if suffering is the only bad thing on this earth, and you cannot prove me otherwise until and unless you answer my first question, which is you have to name something that is bad that doesn't involve any suffering. So, if so, that is the only bad thing. So, sentient beings who have the capability to suffer are the only important ones in this world. That is why we have to follow sentientism. Most of the world right now, they are following a philosophy of humanism. Humans are important. The world systems, like you can take constitution or economic system or any system or any group of individuals, they'll be following humanism. Humans will be their basic uh, uh, humans will be of their basic value. But the thing is, animals do feel the same pain. So sentientism makes the most sense, right? So it doesn't make sense to say, okay, this individual suffering doesn't matter. It matters to the individual. That's why every suffering is suffering. Yes. Okay, so cool. So this may be a little bit of a graphic image for some people, but anyway, I thought this was very necessary. So this is a hyena hunting a wild beast. So before you turn away your face, let me just tell you, this image might look horrific, right? So see that bloody hyena's face, right? That wild beast suffering and stuff. But the actual thing is, the hyena has a cub she has to feed, right? So you cannot really blame the hyena for this, and you cannot exactly say the wild beast should get gutted alive. You cannot say both. Neither the wild beast nor the hyena is the villain of the story, right? The actual villain is the design in which animals are forced to kill each other for survival. So the existence which we live in, the nature in which we live in, it has a design where suffering is inevitable. It doesn't allow sentient, conscious living beings to exist without suffering. It's the design. Either the wild beast has to be gutted alive, or the hyena and her cubs starves to death. Right? But both the wild beast and the hyena are innocent. They don't know anything. That's the thing. We have to understand that this existence doesn't allow an existence without suffering. So can we solve this? So fortunately, yes, we can. And let me just give you some examples. Right. So first a being is born into this world, right? And then they start to suffer. Like they start to suffer from predation, natural disasters, diseases, human abuse, enslavement, and all sorts of natural and unnatural human-made causes. Right? They start to suffer, and then finally they die. They don't know why they were born. They don't know why they suffered. They don't know why they died. But while suffering, they reproduce and give birth to a fresh batch of organisms that are going to suffer and die again and again. This is the reality. You cannot escape suffering, but you will reproduce and bring more victims to suffer. Right? So the only way to solve this is non-existence. So cutting the cycle. So you just think about it. Many of you would have involved in campaigns for. So I just run this poster around animal rights community. So many of you would have experienced neutering dogs, stray dogs, and stuff, right? So why do you do that? Because you know that if that stray dogs are going to reproduce and give birth to some puppies, 2 of them will die of paro. 2 of them will die of some accident. And the rest 2 will have a worse fate because they are going to get some skin disease. They are going to eat out of garbage, and they will live 10 or 12 years of their life in misery. You know that, but the mother who is giving birth to those puppies don't know that. So you are taking the decision for them. You are ignoring the mother's consent because it's greater suffering if you let them reproduce. Right? If you sterilize them right away, then those puppies are never born. And you don't have to be worried about those who are never born. Think about the siblings you never had, right? You don't have to worry about them. It's just even absurd to think about them, right? So nothingness is better than this existence. What all this existence entails? It entails rape, war. Predation is not the only suffering. Rape, war, accidents, disasters, predation, diseases, mental suffering, right? And nothingness is just nothingness. Those puppies who never came into existence, those siblings who never came into existence, they never experienced rape, war, accidents, predation, diseases, mental pain. They didn't meaninglessly reproduce, suffer, and die without even knowing what happened to them. Right? That is why nothingness is better. Why pull somebody out of nothingness, out of peace, and put them into this world that is full of inevitable suffering? It cannot be solved, as we saw. It cannot be solved, right? So that is why nothingness is better than this existence. We have to understand this. This life, it's leading nowhere. These animals, what they did. A lion is hunting a zebra. What did that zebra accomplish except for dying painfully? What did that lion accomplish except for starving? Because it couldn't hunt the zebra. Nothing. What did you and I accomplish? Nothing. But we are suffering here meaninglessly, right? And it's worst. Like it is not even worth the pleasures. Can you say that, okay, that there is good food on this earth, so you can experience that? Can that really justify starvation? Can music justify wars or diseases, accidents? Can video games justify mental pain? Can never justify, right? And 99.9% life on this planet, which is the animals, they are suffering horribly. It's not humans, right? We have to understand this first. So obviously nothingness is better. You look at the monkey in this picture, right? Why was the child of this monkey born? Nothing. Why? Simply it's all the suffering happened for nothing. I've heard many wildlife conservationists who say that we have to preserve animals, etc., say that our children will never see the animals. Why you should see? I mean, is it some kind of scenery or something? They'll be suffering for your sight, so that you can have a good view. You can see, okay, wild beasts are running. They have to be gutted alive for that. So for your pleasure, for you to have an exhibit, they don't have to exist. Very simple. So yeah, so which brings us to next thing. So how can we actually solve this, right? So this is something called as a trolley problem used in philosophy. So if you see, there is a trolley approaching and there is one person on one track and 5 people on another track, right? So here a trolley problem is assuming that death is bad, right? Any sane person would direct the trolley towards the track where one person is there. You want to save the 5 people from the suffering, right? So if you sterilize a dog, maybe it might be a little bit suffering for that dog, but it helps the whole generation of puppies who are not born, who are not never going to suffer. Infinite. This is not even 1 versus 5, it's 1 versus infinite, right? So here another thing I want to say is, now from sterilization, let's switch to a more sensitive topic, which is euthanasia. Many people might feel emotionally attached to the concept of euthanasia. Oh no, that's bad. Like, you just imagine, right? The process of dying, which has the pain, that is the bad thing. After death, what is there? Nothing. It's just peace. So when you go to sleep and wake up in the morning, what do you have? Like, can you describe the moment in between? No, there is no thoughts, no desires, no wants, nothing. There is not even a black or a white. You just remember going to sleep and waking up in the morning. And if you go to sleep and never wake up, you will never even know, right? That is nothingness. Very simple. You don't want anything from there, so don't feel emotional towards that concept. So an animal's suffering is more important than our emotional attachments. We have to be ready to do what is necessary. We have intelligence. We are not like animals, right? That's why we sterilize them in the first place. So we have to be able to do what is necessary, not what is necessary for our emotions. So even if you euthanize animals, right? So it means that these animals are never going to reproduce. So that is like, again, trolley problem. Life is not so black and white, right? Sometimes you have to cause some suffering to prevent some suffering. You have to choose, because I mean, as I'm saying from the beginning, life is sadistic. It has a sadistic design. And if you want animals, want all sentient beings to escape from here, right? You have to be able to cause some suffering. So what is extinctionism? So let me explain the word extinction. Extinction means going extinct, disappearing, right? So dodos disappeared out of the face of the earth, right? So they are, guess what, they are not gutted alive by hyenas. They are not farmed by humans. They are not raped. They are not victims of diseases, natural disasters, harsh weather, starvation, thirst, because they disappeared. It's very simple. So extinctionism is a philosophy that advocates for extinction of all conscious living beings. So it's not worth it. So even if you cause some pain by while making these species that exist right now extinct, it means that infinite, this 20 quintillion is going to reproduce to quintillions and quintillions more indefinitely, and they are going to suffer. Every being that comes to this planet, they should suffer. So isn't it better if they all are like dodos? If they all are like white rhinos? Can you touch a dodo right now? Can you try to even abuse it? No way. That is the only thing that can bring peace where an existence itself is causing suffering. Think about this, like the cows which are genetically modified, which have big udders, like 20 with 20 liters of milk. For them, existence itself is suffering. They have to go extinct. You cannot be, okay, I'm emotionally attached to a Jersey cow, my children won't be able to see Jersey cow, so they cannot be extinct, right? So let's say, right, on the right you see a red button, right? So let's say in this trolley problem, you have the billions and billions of beings that exist right now, and on one side you have the infinite amount of beings that are going to come into this existence and suffer. And this red button, if you press it, right, you can euthanize the current beings so that infinite suffering is stopped. Won't it be a moral duty to press this button? If you say that, okay, I won't press the button because I have to experience pleasure, then you are an unethical piece of shit. Sorry for the language. It's the most ethical thing to do, right? So right now we are working on the other thing is, extinctionism is a movement. We ask for humans to come together and realize the facts. Facts are ultimate, right? So the fact is, existence is causing inevitable suffering, and this is all meaningless. Whatever we are going through, it's meaningless. So we must come together and find a solution, find this red button ourselves. And we are granting non-existence to a lot of individuals right now, like sterilization, even take condoms, right? So they are making a lot of individuals, preventing a lot of individuals from coming into this existence, right? So technology can do this, humans can do this, we have to. So the current approach we have towards animal rights, we ask people to go vegan, we ask rights for animals, we ask for liberation of animals. These don't work. So on the left, I've shown you a average sized shopping mall, right? So if this shopping mall is cleared and reforested, can you imagine how much of sentient beings, lizards, amphibians, birds, fishes, mammals can move in this one single area? Thousands. You know how much land animal agriculture is using? Animal agriculture is using more than 77% of uh, land, agricultural land. If they are reforested, millions and millions, even billions of animals will move in. And these animals, instead of suffering from humans, they will suffer at the hands of nature. So you haven't really solved anything. You just transferred the suffering from a chicken to this lizard, from a cow to a frog. You just transferred the suffering to a species. It doesn't matter if this lizard is starving or a chicken is starving. It doesn't matter to the victim. All are same suffering. If you are discriminating, okay, saying that okay, this is human made and this is natural made, then you are just a fool. You will never solve animal suffering. The goal is solving animal suffering. That's why I told you to keep an open mind. It's not to discriminate and solve the suffering of a few individuals. Right? So even if you achieve these above mentioned things, animals are still going to suffer. You can't do anything. Only non-existence, extinction is the only solution. Extinction of animals. Animals should disappear. That is the only solution. Even if you achieve all these things, let's say, even if you achieve these things, you think, okay, black people have rights now, their problems are solved. A black person won't get a disease or die in a natural disaster. Rights is not the solution. Veganism is not the solution. Right? Doesn't matter if you are eating a chicken or a fox. To the chicken, and that chicken's pain deserves to be stopped no matter what. So with that, we come to the end of the seminar, I guess, and we can take a few questions and discussions. Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing. Yeah, cool. So definitely this is a new concept. Some people might have some doubts. So go ahead. What's your question or argument?
May I ask the question?
Yeah, sure.
As you said earlier,
Hmm.
So a calf or a human child, they are no different from each other, right?
Yeah.
When the suffering
Yeah.
comes to
Yeah.
play, they both are
Yeah.
not different. So as humans can decide whether to have a progeny or not. Like in a way, they can decide whether to have children for the next generation or they should not have, right? In the same way, animals can also have to decide, no, to have the children or not.
See, animals can't decide, first point. Okay. So, and I'm not saying humans can't decide either. So, first, let me just clear up this point. Having a progeny, right? If I'm going to have a child, I know for sure that that child is going to suffer. So, that is unethical. So, here, it's not my decision. I am bringing in someone new without their consent into this existence, which see, no parent can guarantee 100% of their child's safety. Keep in mind that. So I am pulling someone out of non-existence into this existence, which is going to give them some negative suffering. So if I decide to have a child, it may be unethical. But if an animal decides to have a child, it's not a decision really, to be honest, because animals are not deciding there; they are just mating. They don't know their consequences. They don't know philosophy. They don't know anything. But the thing is, I know what is greater good for them. I'm giving a bath to my dog. I know it's better. My dog probably runs away and hides under the sofa, right? But I know it's best for him because otherwise he will get skin disease and suffer more. In the same way, I am neutering him because if I do, he won't reproduce and those puppies won't suffer, right? So for us, we need to take ethical decisions. For animals, also we need to take ethical decisions.
So is it ethical to decide the fate of another living being?
Yeah,
whether
it
it
is.
is a human,
Yeah, it is. So
whether it is
do you think yeah, it is. It is
whether
ethical.
it is a human or another.
Yeah,
like
it is.
dumb.
See, if you are doing an ethical, if I, it depends on what fate I am deciding for them. Okay, if I am killing a chicken, right? For
Okay.
that, I am enslaving that chicken. I'm killing that chicken, and I'm consuming that chicken. I did it for my personal pleasure, right?
Okay. Yes.
The other thing is, I am euthanizing the chicken because the chicken will reproduce and cause more. It will cause more suffering. That is something. I'm not saying it's not bad. I'm saying some things have to be done to prevent more suffering. Some suffering has to be caused to prevent more suffering. So if you are doing it for a if you are enslaving some chickens and breeding them so that you can kill them, that is a different thing. You are breeding them more and more and keeping them in existence, torturing them and killing them, that is a different thing. I am euthanizing these chickens once and for all so that the suffering ends, that is a different thing. Okay. So
you are
here
saying
I am
that it is
deciding the
ethical.
fate. Here I am deciding the fate for the victim. There, if I am exploiting them for profit, I am deciding their fate for me. And it is going to ultimately harm them. There is a difference, right?
Okay, there is a difference, but I'm saying that is it? My question is that is it ethical to decide a fate of a?
Okay. I'll tell you. I'll tell you simply. It's a necessary evil. If you want a straight up answer.
Okay, so it's a necessary evil. Okay, it's
Euthanizing.
evil. Anyways, we are doing it for the good of the animals. You are saying.
Yeah. I'm not saying. Again, I'm not saying it is ethical to decide the fate of another animal. I am saying if you are euthanizing or sterilizing them, it is a necessary evil. Very simple.
Anyways, the bad is going to happen to the animals.
Yeah.
Like anyway, you are saying that you have to choose a less suffering from a more suffering.
Yeah.
So if less suffering will do a good, we'll do the less suffering. Less suffering should be done in order to suppress the full length of suffering, right?
Yes. Exactly.
So
that's
we are choosing the less evil over the big
Yeah,
evil.
lesser evil. Yeah, exactly. That's
Okay.
something that has to be done.
Yeah. I get your point totally. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. That's why I wouldn't say that it is ethical to decide the fate of animal. It also depends on what fate you are deciding for them, whether it's good or bad, right?
Yes,
I mean,
obviously you are correct.
yeah, ends do justify the means, but
Hmm.
the ends should also be there, right? It
Okay.
shouldn't be for your profit. That's
No,
what I'm
I'm
saying.
not saying about the profit. I'm asking. I just asked. I posed my
Yeah,
question,
that's that
and you
that
answered it in
is
a exactly correct way. Like you are
yeah.
choosing the less
So
evil over big evil.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Simple.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions? Is there any questions in chat box you want me to address? Yeah, you guys can turn on your mics and ask questions, or you can even drop them on chat box so that I can answer them.
Hi, this is Manan here.
Yeah.
So my question is like, see, I'm open to all ideas and all. Like, I don't necessarily oppose or any new ideas and such. But see, the thing is like, why are we like advocating for extinction of all species? Like, I mean, if like let the animals follow the natural life cycle and order. Like if they are destined to die, if some species are destined to go extinct, they'll go extinct. If some animals they want to
Uh,
live, so why are we
okay.
trying to
Um,
speed it up? That's my question.
Manan, can I ask you one question? I'll just
Yeah,
shoot you
sure,
one
sure.
question. You're taking a stroll down a forest. Okay. You're saying a baby deer who is starving, right?
Uh,
And you open your tiffin box and you have a few pieces of mangoes inside that tiffin box. Will you feed that deer?
yeah, I guess so. Like if I have
Why why
extra
why
men,
you interfered in nature?
see
Why did
that
that mango came
because
from a tiffin box?
I did it out of like I would do it out of an act of compassion. Like if I see an
Yeah,
animal
same
or
thing. Same thing. Very simple. Same thing.
okay, so you are
Same thing.
saying that I
There is
get
no
your point. Correct,
there
correct.
is no issue in interfering with nature. You probably are doing that. You are sitting in probably an air conditioned home with a bed and stuff because it makes your life more convenient, right? Because you can't live in nature. If you live in nature, you have to be getting bug bites every day, sleeping in rocks. Can you do that? You want more convenience, that deer should starve. I don't accept that.
See, no, my point was that see, forest and the natural world, it will exist on its own. Like if humans don't
I
any.
I don't care about nature. Nature is a non-living entity. I don't care about it.
So let the
These animals who are
so even
suffering, these
so
I don't care about. Manan, let's keep one thing very clear. I don't care about nature. Nature is
hmm.
a word. Okay, nature is not living. Nature is not an entity. Nature doesn't care about these animals. But these animals are suffering. Suffering is a bad thing. I care about that. I don't
See,
care
but
about it.
they, so but no.
I will
See, my question
see.
is, see, who are we
Okay.
to decide the agency for animal? Like whether they are suffer, it's their choice, right? Whether they want to live.
Because see, who are we to decide? Because if I have a 3-year-old baby, okay, and if I have to decide whether that baby should bath or not, I cannot give that decision to that baby. That baby doesn't know if he or she doesn't bath means she will get skin diseases. I cannot give that decision to the baby because they will get the skin disease and die. I will take that decision because why? Because I know what is greater good for them. They don't have that intellectual capacity. It's very simple. If you are going to sterilize a dog, okay. maybe you are from animal background, animal rights or rescue or something. So you might have rescued an animal. Even if you are not from that background, you might have, rescued a puppy or two in your life, right? Who are you to
Correct.
decide that that puppy will, okay, if you go to pick up that puppy, most of those puppies will be scared and run away. Why are you deciding? Why are you taking them to your house, forcing them to eat?
See, that is
Right?
just
Because that
that is
puppy
just
is
an act of
thinking, that puppy
compassion.
doesn't know, this guy is rescuing me. It doesn't have the capacity.
See the issue of street dogs, that is a separate issue from the wild animals, right? So I am
No,
talking
no, no.
about
It's not.
the
It's
wild.
not. Why is it a separate issue? Wild animals
See,
and stray dogs may feel the same
no,
suffering.
that's a see. If you have done a little bit of research, like you might be aware that street dogs, their population is increasing because they are living in city city conditions, and they are not properly sterilized, or they don't have any natural predators in cities. That's the reason why and that is why we have to sterilize, or we have to control their population, and we have to adopt them. But in wild forests and nature, there are predators. There is an entire
No, no, no.
hierarchy, right?
My
So
question is, no. Again, you are repeating the same mistake. My question is, what makes the difference to the victims? For me, do you agree that victims are the only ones who matters? Like, if a being is suffering, can you say a rock is, okay, rock is in nature. Do you think that rock is important? A forest is important. A forest is not important. It's not a living entity. It is not feeling suffering. But these animals are feeling suffering. They are the ones who are important. Why I care about forest loss? Okay, these predators are keeping in them in check, so it is fine. I don't care. Why are you going to that point? I don't care. Simply, I don't care. And you shouldn't care also. If you are saying I care about nature, you are a fool.
no, I don't
Nature
care.
is not living.
See, I don't
Nature is
care
not
about
living.
nature. All I'm saying is ki let nature thrive on its own. Like, why are we?
Why
Uh,
should I let nature torture these beings? Okay, Mannan, I will tell you one thing. Let's say you are living in a coastal city, okay, and I am getting an information that 2 years later tsunami is going to attack. Okay, let me leave you with nature. Population control. Happily, you will die. Or you will expect me to build some wall or something to protect you, or at least to warn you to evacuate from that. Will you happily starve? Will you happily, get if you are facing a tiger, right? You get into a forest and facing a tiger. I have a gun. Won't you want me to protect you? Same thing a deer also wants. Simple. They are forced into this existence and they are forced to suffer. I don't care about nature. I don't care about its laws.
it's interesting. Yeah, fine.
I uh, yeah, it makes sense, right? You have to be open
Yeah,
minded.
yeah, Manan, he already said that be open-minded. We are doing the necessary evil. He's not saying that I am doing the right thing or like that. We are choosing the less evil or the big evil. And his ideology, he's sticking to it, and he don't care about remaining things. And that's his point of view. You are posing a question different from his ideology. Okay.
See,
No, you are not.
so the
I am
question
arguing
is
that
like,
arguing that it doesn't make sense to care about some laws. See, it doesn't make sense to say. I'll tell you one thing. Okay, um, you are saying there are certain set of rules. Okay, it's followed, so it's fine. I'm saying that that thing is just written in a note by you, right? In reality, the only things that matter is sentient beings. I already made that very clear, and nobody can deny this fact. Only thing that matters is conscious living beings. So where does these rules and all come in? I don't understand. So let me say, one country has devised a rule that only white people reign supreme, black people should be oppressed. I don't care about that rule. I will care about that black people, because black people feel pain. That's what I'm saying. I care about victims. I don't care about some dumb made up rules. Why I care? I'm saying that I should protect them from these rules. Whether it's nature who's causing the suffering, or or a human person, I am saying that I will protect the victim. Victim is what matters to me, not the oppressor, not the cause, not rules. I don't care, and you shouldn't as well, because it doesn't make sense. I mean,
See, but the
what the hell is
point
it?
is, you are assuming, right?
What am I saying?
You are assuming that the animal is a victim. By default, every single animal is a
Bandan, should I, before assuming that you are a victim, should I come and cut your hands into pieces to confirm whether you are shouting you are a real victim or not?
but the point is like, see,
What
I
I'm saying,
as a
I
human,
know
see,
conscious living beings, everybody, each and every, that's what I differentiated between suffering and pain. Okay. If you are going to a gym, okay, you are having some pain from exercises. Maybe you like it. Masochists like pain, right? That is pain. But even masochists don't want to suffer. Suffering is different. Nobody wants to suffer. Like getting your fingers cut off, tortured. That is suffering. Raped. That is suffering. Nobody wants to be raped. That is suffering. You need proof for that. What you are saying doesn't
but
even make any sense.
see, but let's say, like, so if you're even if you're advocating for the extinction of the entire even human species, like, but
Yes, I
I as
am.
a
Yes, I am. I made it very
uh,
clear.
but
Extinction of
like
all
I as
sentient.
a so the point is, like, I as a human, I am enjoying my life. Like, why should I
So
strive
okay.
to?
So you are enjoying your life, and I made it very clear that 99.9, because both by quantity and severity, animals are the ones who are suffering, and humans are also suffering a lot. So you are telling me that if I have a red button, I shouldn't press that button because Mannan wants to enjoy a movie date with his girlfriend, and the rest of the world, like children in pedophiles' basement, should suffer rape. So
No, but
this Hino should
the
tear apart this because
okay.
Mannan wants to eat some cotton candy because it's pleasure for him. Does that seem right to you? I,
Yeah,
my,
but why
that is
should
the
I?
basic.
But,
That is the basic definition of selfishness. That is the basic definition of evil. That is the basic definition. I want pleasure, right?
no, I want to live. Like, why should I die for others? Like, what's the
I
sense in
don't
it?
see if I have a way to make Mannan alone live, right? 2, 3 humans who are, not claiming to not be suffering. Obviously, your life will also take a turn. Life is unpredictable. It will cause suffering. You will suffer at a point. That is another thing. But let's say if I theoretically have a way to work around that, I live. I'll be okay, fine. But it's not going to be that. Practically, it's not going to be like that. So I will prioritize the pain, even if 100 people are in this world and only one of them are suffering. I will press the button and uh, end all 100 people. That is what makes sense, because you can never compare you eating cotton candy with a child getting raped. You can never compare you going on a movie date with a wild beast being gutted alive. I don't care about you. Again, I care about victims only.
See,
If you are
but
living a good
we
life and you
so
want to
the
continue
thing is,
others' life, okay, these people are these animals should continue. They should be gutted alive. These should be raped. This should be that. That should be this. Because I want to eat a cotton candy, then you are the most unethical piece of shit in the world.
see, my point was that, like, see, if
So if
you because you took the example of that pedophilia, like, so the person committing the act of rape on a child, that he is the so he should suffer, and there are laws which will
listen,
try him
so
and
okay,
put him in jail. Like,
pedophilia,
why should I?
pedophilia. Pedophilia is
Why should
illegal,
I
right?
suffer?
Bro,
Why should I suffer?
bro,
Because
bro,
there are
I will ask
pedophiles
you
in
one
this
question.
world.
I will ask you one question. Can crime ever be solved?
Sorry.
Can crime ever be solved?
See, 100%. So no society can be
Ah,
100% criminal free, right? But
So where did those
Manan,
laws go now?
yeah. Manan, basically what you are saying is that you are sure that these things cannot be eradicated. So you want to let all these continue, like whatever child abuse or intensive
but
suffering,
they
whatever kind of
can be
animal abuse.
minimized, right? It's
Minimized. You are saying that it can be minimized, but I'm saying that even one child suffering is also a big issue. Okay, is it like you can let it continue if even if it is one child?
so we can help the child to come out of that situation also. Like it's a
So,
there are
so you
people
just
like,
told that it's not possible to eradicate all
I mean
the
that,
time,
but
and now you
there
are
are
saying that
people.
it's possible
No,
to.
I'm saying that we can. Like there are people, for example, who are in India. There is a guy called Kailash Satyarthi. I mean, who works for like who is actively. I mean,
Okay,
uh,
let me give you an example. This
Did
Kailash
Kailash
Satyarthi is
Satyarthi
there, no?
eradicate child
Wait,
abuse?
wait. This Kailash Satyarthi is there, no? He'll keep pulling those children out of child labor one by one. Okay, those child labor employers will keep employing another children one by one because reproduction. It gives you an infinite supply of sentient beings.
but
These animals, wait, these animals who are bred for milk and meat and all, how do you think everybody who wants milk and meat has access to milk and meat? Because
Manan, one more
because
important
wait,
thing,
wait,
like
because of because
yeah.
of demand, right? So people are demanding and they are making these animals reproduce. They are doing artificial insemination. They are making these animals reproduce. Okay, so as much as victims you keep saving, next batch will reproduce, and the next batch of victims will arrive. All because what
Manan,
you want to eat cotton candy.
Manan, basically it's very much awkward. Like we are proposing a solution, okay, to solve all these extreme sufferings in the world, whatever animal abuse, animal suffering, torture, child abuse, everything. We are proposing a solution to end all these things, and it's very awkward that you are thinking that you cannot enjoy your life anymore. Like you won't be able to go for movies, you won't be able to date with a girlfriend. It's awkward actually.
but
Okay.
see,
We are
my
forgetting the
definition
solution.
of
We are
enjoyment.
forgetting
See,
that all these sufferings will be solved. You are just caring about your own personal silly pleasure. Do you think it's right?
no, see, my definition of enjoyment is not like going to a movie or dating a girlfriend. Like I enjoy like helping people also. Like that could be also a form of
That is
enjoyment
that.
when I.
Okay,
Basically,
basically,
what you said just now is that you just need suffering people so that you can help them and you can enjoy.
Oh, no, I mean, if there is something I can do for humans, like to who are facing problems in their life, like, and if I am in that position where I can help them, then why won't I like extend a
You
helping?
need humans who are suffering so that you can help them, right? So that you will get an enjoyment.
No, like if the human is approaching me like if for help, like if he has some issues in his life, and if I am in a position to help him, then why not? Like, why shouldn't I help?
If both you and those suffering humans were not born, means that was better, right? There is no need for that person to approach you for help, and there is no need for you to help him also. Already the problem is solved.
No, but see that isn't in my hands. Like I was born, so that wasn't in my hand, right? Now I'm living in this world.
but now
But
what you are
extinction
going
is
to
in your
do?
hand.
But now what you are going to do? Whether see helping one person to satisfy your own emotions are doing the right thing so that more people who need help doesn't get born,
So
ending the cycle. That is that is in your hands. If you are saying, okay, I want to keep helping people, so suffering people should exist because to satisfy my savior complex, then that is even more unethical than what I said before.
Like,
So
see,
what
the
he is
thing
trying
is,
to
so
nice.
the
Okay,
thing
go.
is like
Yeah,
I'm born.
one second. I have just posted the link of our Extinctionism WhatsApp group in the chat box, and even after the meeting has ended today, if you guys want to join the group and discuss there, you can come, and just join the link and post your questions there. Yeah, so David, you wanted to say something, go ahead.
No, nothing. That what I want to tell to Manan is that what you people are trying to tell is to make someone like what you said earlier, Steve. That is correct. You are choosing the less evil to suppress the greater evil. That's your ideology, and I'm fine about that. That's what I want to say it with Manan. Like Manan, there is no need. They already said what they meant. It is in our hands to do something for the animals, so we are doing that. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, no, my point is, like, you can keep rescuing animals all you want, Manan. So I'll just answer your point, okay? So you are saying, okay, I'm helping people also, I'm getting pleasure from that. I'm saying, you just rescue one dog and come to your home, right? Tomorrow you go to the same street, two more puppies will be born there. How long? Even if you live for another 60 years and keep on rescuing these dogs, helping people and die, nothing would have changed.
And you
Instead,
can help those new puppies and you will get more happiness.
exactly. So this is like pointless. Like
More
you
happiness.
saying that
Yeah.
these victims should keep existing for me. Like basic concept, bro. Prevention is better than cure. Euthanizing all the species right now. Press the red button. Okay, let's say universe itself get destroyed, right? That means no victims.
Yep.
You prevented victims,
Yes.
right? So working for extinctionism as an ideology is the only one that is going to help. Otherwise you can keep on taking in all the dogs, all the people, you can keep on helping them, right? You even consider this, bro. You are helping them, right? So I'll tell you one worst case. Like I didn't even keep this in the meeting, but I wanted to. But I'll tell you, you just feed one dog, right? You see one dog is hungry. Okay, I feel very bad if I see a hungry dog. I'll give him some biscuits. But the harsh reality is, because of my biscuits, that dog is going to survive and reproduce 5 more puppies who are going to stop there.
That's
How many
interesting.
humans? It is. It is like that. Whatever you do, see, I'll ask you one thing. I'll make it very clear to you. Can you stop accidents ever? Can you stop starvation ever? Can you stop crime ever? Can you stop one animal killing another? Predation ever? Can you stop exploitation, crime, diseases, natural disasters? Can you stop these? You can just help. Keep on helping. Keep on. Victims will keep coming. When is the end? You will get emotionally satisfied. You will get pleasure. You will say, okay, I'm having a good life, and you will go. What about the victim? They are keeping on suffering. You are not the victim here.
See, my point was simple. Like advocating, for example, veganism to the population is a little simple. Like you just have to tell them not to eat
I told you,
meat
right?
and all
You
that.
advocate. You
But
advocate
how do
veganism.
you
You you
how do
you
you
advocate veganism, right? Wait. I tell you, you advocate veganism. Let's say the whole world turns vegan. Slaughterhouses get closed. Dairy farms get closed. Everything gets closed. That area is 77% of agricultural land. Total agricultural land is consumed by animal industry. That land is going to be home to 100 billion more species. Those are going to suffer in nature. So suffering just transferred species. I don't care if a male calf is starving or a lion is starving in the forest. I don't care if a chicken is being subject to predation or a lizard in a forest. I don't care, because for victims it is the same. So it's not about being simple. I can even be a religious activist, but it should make sense, right? It should change something. It doesn't. Non-existence is the only solution, because our existence is designed in such a way.
See, but how do we like advocate this ideology to people? Like, for veganism is very simple to tell. Like, you just have to tell people not to eat. Like, and you explain to them why we are against animal
Okay, so
agriculture.
that's
So
what I've been doing in this seminar, right? You
how
are
will
the
people?
people. You are the people. You are asking me questions, I am explaining you. Right now we are doing that. What you are asking? So I am thinking like, see, so there is some issue. Okay. Animal testing is there, right? So you gather some people, right? You tell them that, okay, animal testing is wrong, because these are very, very cruel experiments. Some of those people might be scientists, some of them may not. So these, some of them who are scientists will work on that. Okay, they will go and work on alternatives like animal cell culture, something like that, right? And the others who are not into the science background, what they'll do activism. They will convince other people to come to this ideology. That is also important, right? So that's how we'll make change, right? Even those researchers will come from activism. You cannot magically convince a scientist to become anti vivisection or anti animal testing, right? So those scientists will research on this. From science field they will contribute, and these people will now from non science background will contribute through activism. So it depends on you whether you concentrate on science field of extinctionism, or creating that red button, or you convince more people. That is up to you. Very simple. And yeah, if something that has to be done, right? You imagine the first anti-slave activist. He didn't think about whether it's impossible, whether it's simple or complex. He didn't think about that. He decided only one thing: anti-slavery activist. He decided that slavery is something that should be abolished. Much like what we decided today, suffering is something that should be abolished. Very simple. And that takes priority over anything, any other thing on this earth. That is what we decided today. So first you take that decision, convince people to join your movement, research. This is how a movement is built. So this is what you can do. This is what you should do to towards any cause if you are into it. But I am saying, like, whatever cause you are into, it's not going to solve any suffering. This is going to be the only cause that matters. So obviously it's not a question of what can we do. It's a question of how we can do this.
Yeah, but so that is the problem, right? Like, yeah, for example, if I tell a person to go vegan, I'll tell him like you eat plants and all,
No,
eat
no,
fruits
no,
and
Manan,
vegetables.
it's
So
not like no,
how
no,
do I
Manan,
tell a
Manan.
person like
I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
how
I'm not. There is a distinction. You are. It's not always that a person has to practice something to have an ideology. Okay, there are white people who don't own slaves, right? But still they do need that ideology. They need to spread that ideology, right? They don't necessarily need to free their slaves or practice something of their ideology. That is, you are asking like, okay, in vegan I am saying stop eating animals. It's not something that is necessary. Just to spread the ideology, spread the truth that this is what is going to help, that will ultimately help the thing.
See, the point is, but see,
I don't have to
there
see.
should be some like see for
Racism,
an idea. So
casteism was never practiced in US. Okay, so casteism was never practiced in many other countries. So don't you think those people, okay, should not have the ideology of anti-discrimination?
see,
Very
but
simple.
there should be some actionable objectives also. Na? But
Actionable,
you
actionable objective is like I said. So in animal testing, we have an actionable objective, right? Abolish animal testing, right? So people from science background are working on that. People from non-science background are spreading the ideology that this should be abolished, right? They are doing protests, they are doing something, right? Activisms, awareness, something like that. Here also it's the same thing. So the people who are going to science background, you work on how to cause extinction, and the people who are not into science background, you work on taking the movement forward. You always don't have to practice everything. Why you are so obsessed on that? It's not a compulsory thing, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, even in the countries where sexism is not practiced, people need the ideology that sexism is wrong.
see, but what if like no scientist agrees to like work on extinction? Like
That
they'll
is
just
that
say.
is see, wait. That is your duty. That is your work. You cannot see. Can anti-sexist activists think that, okay, what if nobody agrees to say anti-sexism? What if government doesn't agree? What if they don't agree to release the slaves? I don't think that they will just keep on experimenting new stuff. And the question, that's what I told you. The question is how. The question is not whether you can do it or not. Question is how you can do it. If something you think, okay, this is the ultimate solution to pain, and you are saying, okay, wow, what if people don't agree? That is like lethargy. That is
No, but I'm
laziness,
saying like
pure laziness.
how do
I can
like
also think, what if animal liberation never happens? That first animal rights activists could have thought this. First anti-slavery activists could have. What if slaves are never released?
see, but veganism has, so for example, veganism has some like scientific data evidence, and they have a solid like stuff backing it, right? So that's
What
the
what
reason why.
solid, what evidence is missing here? Whatever I said, I think
See,
all
the
the facts you
evidence is
agree.
like there are. So I can give you example where a lot of animals are enjoying in nature also. Like so, how do you
I
refute
don't.
that?
I already told you, suffering is more important than pleasure. Very simple. You
Like,
cannot compare.
but
Okay,
I may
okay.
say
These
I may
animals are
value
enjoying.
pleasure
No,
over.
no,
See, I
Manan,
may
I
say
told
that
you,
okay, pleasure is
Man,
more important than
Manan,
suffering. So
Manan,
how do you refute it?
can you justify? Can you justify? Okay, what is a pleasure? You tell me two, three pleasures.
Actually, what Manan said is that pleasure is more important than suffering, I guess. So it means that
I may value. There are people who may value pleasure over suffering. Like so, how do I?
No,
What
that's what
counter
I'm asking.
argument?
That's what I'm asking, Manan.
of course, there are people who value pleasure over suffering. That's why they rape people, right? Gang rape. 10 people get pleasure,
Your
and
logic
one
can
person only is
justify gang
suffering.
rape.
Yeah,
Your
of course.
logic, your logic can justify gang rape. One girl
See,
is
but
raped.
no,
Five guys
pleasure
are
can
getting
also
pleasure.
be consensual, right? You are talking about extreme kind of
Bro,
like.
bro. Extreme kind of, here also we are talking about world has extreme kind of suffering, and whatever, even 100 people have pleasure and one have extreme suffering also, I will press the red button. That's what I'm saying. But the truth is, in 100 people, at least 99 people are suffering in a worse way.
But I can also strive to. I can also give the counter argument that if 99% people are having, for example, they are enjoying their life and one person is suffering, then I can just make that one person come out of his suffering and so that he can also
That's what
enjoy
you
his life.
already.
How would you
Okay,
do that?
you already accepted that crime is not stoppable. This natural disaster, predation, everything is not
So
stoppable.
I can
How
strive
how
to.
you make
So
them come out?
See, in a civilized society, not everybody out of 100 people, not everyone is a rapist or a killer, right? There are.
I don't care. I don't care. I told you, like you already accepted that one person is there also. They cannot be
So
made
we
out of
can
something.
reform that. We can reform
Now,
that person
bro,
to come out.
fix one thing. Fix one thing. Can we reform and stop crimes,
Yeah, we
oppression?
can reform
Wait, wait,
individuals.
wait, wait.
There are people
Wait,
who
wait, let
have
me finish.
like.
Let me finish. What reform you will do to stop natural disasters, predation, crime, diseases, etc., forever? Tell me.
See, natural disaster is not in our hands. Like you are
Not
comparing
in your
different.
hands. Then I
But
will press
See,
the
you are
button.
extinction in
Then
our
then,
hands.
then I will press the button. Then that one person who is suffering exists. So I will press the button. So that extreme suffering exists. So I will press the button. Can you stop rape ever? Like completely stop. Not even one victim should be there.
see,
I
but
mean,
we
even
can. There
yeah,
is.
wait.
We
Even
can work towards
animals rape.
minimizing. See, what I'm
I don't
saying
care.
is we can.
I don't care about minimization. I already told you. Even if 99% people are minimization is not possible. That is another thing. Because if you solve starvation, the other problem is obesity. You will bring internet to solve communication problems. The other porn is child porn. They will show in internet. So whatever you bring, that will be a double-edged sword. That is our existence.
Come
Okay,
on,
But
guys.
that
my
is another
point
thing.
is like
That is
if
another
they.
thing. That is another
See,
thing. But my
you are
point is,
assuming so not everybody is a rapist, right? Why
I
should
don't care.
in a
I
say
don't care.
Manan,
I don't care.
Manan, when
If
did we say that
99
everybody is a
people,
rapist? What you are
Guys,
going on
may I
telling
state
us?
something? Excuse me. May I state something? Yeah, Manan, what you are saying is different from the concept which they are saying. You are saying like you will help the people who are suffering. They are saying that there should be people with no suffering, so we should eliminate them, and that is their ideology, and this is your ideology. Both are like helping each other, like helping people, but what they are saying is like we should not create a society where the people should be suffered, or any type of suffering should not be there.
No, but
We
what
should
if
eliminate that.
no? What if the people want to live like you have?
bro,
Yeah.
bro,
What I'm not
I'll
saying
tell
that
you.
you
No,
are saying wrong, Manan.
Manan,
Not you.
I'll tell you one thing. You just take one animal, okay? You cut off the animal's limbs, legs. The animal will still try to run away from you, and the animal will still try to survive, despite the fact that euthanasia is better for that animal at that point. That point.
But the animal has the
Wait.
natural instinct to
Let me
live
complete.
and to.
Let me complete.
Yeah, yeah.
See, animals wanting to live, wanting to survive is a basic inbuilt evolutionary trait, but that doesn't mean it is good for them.
So who are we to decide it's not good for them? Like it can also be good for them.
I am an intelligent person. I am more intelligent than them. That is who I am.
Say like scientifically, even an elephant has a larger memory than like who are you to decide that you are more intelligent than
Elephant might have memory, but it doesn't have philosophy or foresight. If I give a birth to a person, they have a risk of suffering that much, and all elephant cannot think.
No, but like you are imposing your philosophy on the animals. Like the animals.
Yeah. You already imposed your philosophy on the deer when you fed the deer some mangoes. You
No,
are
I won't
imposing
feed.
your
Okay, fine. I won't feed the deer. Like I won't go to a
Okay,
forest where there.
you are just changing your answers based on the just for argument's sake.
See,
This is
no.
what they
I'm
call.
not changing my. I'm just saying that I would let the wild animals follow their
Um,
natural life cycle, the way
just a
they are
second.
living in the forest. I wouldn't. Why would I go and interfere? Why would I
Bro,
go and interfere in the
what
natural
is
world?
natural life cycle?
See,
What is
my
natural
point
life
is, why
cycle?
would I go and interfere in the natural world and the natural life cycle? Let it run.
Basically, whatever you are doing, you are interfering with nature, bro. Like whatever you are using mobile phone, whatever technology you are using, we are building a house, you are interfering with nature. You are replacing the natural environment with an artificial environment. So you shouldn't do that also.
So urban cities are just 2% of the entire. They occupy only 1 to 2% of
percentage and all
the.
doesn't matter. You are interfering with nature, right?
So but I am not
But if you are
actively
building
like.
a small house, you are cutting tree also. You are basically replacing some animals from there. You are interfering with nature.
But I am not actively going to a forest and interfering in the natural life cycle of the animals, right? Like
You are passively making your house then.
So what do you want?
Building your house.
So what do you want me to do? Like live on the streets or like what should I do then?
Yes, if you respect natural rules.
Go extinct.
No, but that's not an option. Like I want to live, right? Like why should
You
I?
want to live, it doesn't matter. We cannot satisfy everything, right?
Okay.
Either we have an option to end all the suffering. Either we have have an option to stop child abuse, to stop wild animal suffering, to stop farm animal suffering, or to let Mannan enjoy his life.
Manan, that's okay.
See, I'm not saying that I want to enjoy. I'm just saying I want to live. Like I'm not saying that.
We don't have that option.
Manan,
it's not possible to end the suffering and let Manan live both.
Yeah, Manan, let
both
that
are not
be
possible together. If it was possible, we already told we would have gone for that.
Manan,
going
that's
around
okay.
and around again and again.
Manan going extinct is a necessary evil. Finished.
Okay, so Manan, as they are saying that it is a necessary evil, they are not saying that it is right thing or good thing. They are saying it is a necessary evil to suppress something which is more evil. So I have to agree with them, whether if you like it or not, it's their ideology and your ideology is different. So the both are thinking to help. They are thinking more.
What I'm saying is the ideology should have a sound argument and logic behind it. Like
Okay,
I'm
listen,
not finding
no,
Your ideology.
Argument.
No ideology will be born with.
You cannot just dodge around, like changing your opinions, changing your answers. You cannot just
that sound, logic, and reasoning. We should be the one who is asking. You are just saying, natural rules. I want to live. That is not sound reasoning.
What is rules of nature? Where is it written?
See, rules of nature.
Rules of nature.
See, the animals, they live in nature. Like they are not. They are not.
I am also a product of nature. So if I cause extinction tomorrow, that is also natural. Finished.
See, we have humans. We have like come out of the. We don't follow the natural cycle anymore, right? We live in cities.
Why don't you follow? Why don't you go inside a forest and follow natural cycle?
I would love to do that. I mean, it's not that
of course
I don't want.
Just to creep inside a reserve forest, you can follow the cycle.
No, don't laugh. You sound logic and reasoning.
See, but the thing is, I want like. What do you want me to do? Like, you want me to live in a forest? Or see,
no.
What do you want me to do right now? Like,
I want you to do extinctionist activism so that those who are suffering can be in peace. I don't want you to be a selfish person and think about others' suffering more than your pleasure.
No, but the thing is, what should I tell another human? Like, for example, if I say
whatever I took in seminar today.
See, I will give you an example. Like for example, like there was slavery 50 years ago, and there were anti-slave activists who. So there was some. So they used to tell people directly that okay, this is wrong, and humans should not be treated as slaves, so you don't keep slaves at home. And that is how we can abolish slavery. So
yeah, exactly. You say that every suffering is wrong, it deserves to be stopped, and extinction is the only way to do it. We have to come together and form.
But in case of slavery, the humans agreed. So they did not like.
Who agreed? Who agreed? Show me. Who agreed? No. If everybody agreed in the beginning, why they fought for 10,000 years, man?
So we fought and all, but eventually it was abolished.
Extinctionism is a concept which came in this century, right? So another some years of fight is there. You are just saying, okay, nobody agrees right now, so nobody will agree tomorrow also.
No, I'm saying like why
is the
should
sound reasoning logic
see
now?
even for people to agree there should be some sound logic
Manan,
behind it,
listen.
right?
Listen to me,
You
Manan.
whining that you whining that I want to live, I want to live
Steve.
natural rules. That sounds like logic.
Steve, may I speak? May I speak, Steve? Hello?
Yeah, go.
Manan, listen. There are different concepts and different ideologies in this world, right? Christianity has there are some ideology, love your neighbor. Hinduism has some ideology. Everyone has their own ideology. They'll sound and they'll be sound and they'll be agreeable to people who will believe in that ideology, not to others, right? So you have a different ideology. These people have different ideology, and Hitler have a different ideology, and someone with like Nelson Mandela, they have different ideology. One man's revolution is like it may seem different to someone. They don't agree. Communism is a good thing, but no one will agree. Casteism is a bad thing, but everyone will follow casteism. Like that, everyone has their own ideology, and this is extinctionism is their ideology, and it should make sense to you. That's your problem. That's not theirs. So don't keep posing questions. It will be like a never-ending process. I think you understand.
You are just we have answered your
See my
everything.
point.
You
See
don't
my
have, wait
see my
a
point
second.
is
You don't have any argument. You are saying I want to live. Okay, that is just that is will to live. That is given to you by evolution. I told you right. Even if you cut off some limbs, you will want to live. You are a product of evolution. You are just acting like an animal. I want to live. I want to live. You are not thinking from rational, intelligent point of view. So you have to give me some other argument. You are just whatever I say. Okay, this is given to you by evolution. This shouldn't be mattering to you. Like people undergoing worse suffering, that is what is matters, right? So putting an end to it once
but
and
the
for all.
thing is,
Putting an end
if
to
I am not responsible for all the suffering on this planet, like so, why should I?
Nobody told that you are responsible. You are just going around and around. This is like you are dragging the conversation. It's like already we discussed all these
So
points.
why should I go
nobody
extinct?
told you are the one who is causing the suffering. Okay, nobody told that.
So then why should I go?
Jeevan is beating you. Okay, I will come and ask Jeevan why you are beating him. Very simple. Okay. I don't care whether I am beating Mannan or Jeevan is beating Mannan. I think that okay, Mannan is getting beaten. It is something that should be stopped. I am not like okay, I am not abusing. Okay, I'll just pass you by. Jeevan is
Let's
beating you on the
not
street.
let's not continue this thing again. Like all the points have been discussed. Is just repeating the points. So like people are just hearing again and again the same thing.
Yeah, cool. So let's just end the seminar. As I said, the group link has been posted in the chat box. Me and Abhishek will stay here for a while in case if anybody wants to join. Yeah, so thanks for participating. Please do join the WhatsApp group and get to know more about extinctionism. This is the only thing that even can begin to solve everything on this every problem on this planet. So keep that in mind, and we will be conducting seminars regularly. I'll try to conduct one every week, and you guys can leave now if you have joined the group.